Senator, this is Susan Harvey. She's a local travel agent. She's still undecided. Susan?
Good evening, Senator.
Hi, Susan.
Hi. If you're elected, what position in your cabinet would be the most important to fill first, and why?
That is a very good question. I would say it would be a three-way tie between Secretary of State, Secretary of Defense, and Attorney General. And I think all three are critically important. Listen, state and defense, when it comes to defense, we need to start rebuilding our military immediately. When it comes to state, we have abandoned our friends and allies nationally, and we need to, it's part of the reason I mentioned before, ripping to shreds the Iranian nuclear deal and moving the American embassy to Jerusalem. Both of those are within the power of the president, but they're also powerfully symbolic. You know, moving the embassy to Israel tells Israel, it tells all of our allies, it tells our enemies, America's back. You know, Obama in his opening weeks, he sent back the bust of Winston Churchill to the United Kingdom. If I'm elected president, Winston Churchill is coming back to the Oval Office. So as Secretary of State, we need someone strong, someone who defends this country, someone who represents this country. Look, I'm not in the position right now to be naming cabinet appointments, but I'll tell you, a Secretary of State in a Cruz administration would be someone like John Bolton, would be someone who is strong, who defends this country, who stands by our allies and stands up to our enemies. And then looking at Attorney General. Attorney General, the lawlessness of the Obama administration has been one of the saddest legacies. And you know one of the most revealing aspects? I mean, Anderson, if you ask reporters in Washington, off the record, you get them at the bar having a couple of drinks, and you say, is Hillary going to be indicted? Inevitably, the answer they give you is they say, well, it depends on if the Obama White House decides they want to throw her overboard. If they decide politically they want to keep her, then no, she won't be indicted. And if they decide they're done with her, she will. Now, how sad is it that the media accepts as a given that whether someone is prosecuted under the criminal laws depends on what some political hack in the West Wing thinks? You know, I used to be an associate deputy attorney general at the U.S. Department of Justice, and I spent 5.5 years as Solicitor General of the state of Texas. Law enforcement and the administration of the law is critically important, and I give you my word that the Attorney General in my administration will be blind to party or ideology. It will not be a partisan position. Instead, the only fidelity of the Department of Justice will be to the laws and the Constitution of the United States. That's the way it's meant to work.
Senator, we've got a few minutes left.